The longtime leader of a Twin Cities church is remembered as a man who was a mentor and a teacher.
Christopher Nelson served as the senior pastor of Bethlehem Lutheran Church in Minneapolis for 23 years.
In his preaching, Chris wanted the Bible faith to make sense and make significance for people's everyday life.
Pastor Nelson lost his battle with pancreatic cancer this past Sunday. During his years as a minister, he inspired others to become leaders in the church. In this week's Life Story, Chris's colleague and his wife share the lessons they learned from him. Bethlehem Lutheran Church has more than 4,000 members, yet somehow the senior pastor made everyone feel at home.
He had this amazing ability to recall and remember names. If he met you once, he knew who you were.
Executive Pastor Ben Cieslik worked closely with Chris and says he learned how to lead by observing him.
He wanted the words that he shared from God to live in people's daily life. And so he worked really hard to help make the Bible and the faith come alive for people.
Jesus is already here, and he lives in you, and he's asking you to make his presence known.
His family and colleagues say Chris relied on his faith to get him through his cancer diagnosis and treatment.
One of his favorite lines that he would say over and over again was, God's promise to you is not an easy and pain-free life, but God promises to walk with you and journey with you even in the midst of the darkness.
At home, his wife says Pastor Nelson liked to go for walks, play tennis, and like any adoring grandpa, spend time with his family. The two were married for 36 years.
He certainly was an extrovert. I am an introvert. And I think he brought me out of that in many, many regards. And that was very useful for me.
A trip to India a decade ago ignited a passion in her husband to help pastors there expand their churches.
Our calling now is to continue the good and faithful work that Chris began, because he'd be mad if we didn't.
A memorial service for Christopher Nelson will be held tomorrow night at 7 at Central Lutheran Church here in downtown Minneapolis. If you have a Life Story suggestion for us, please share it at WCCO.com/links.